Today I'll be showing you how to make traditional Portuguese cookies. What you will need: 7 eggs, 7 ovos, 2 cups of sugar, 2 copos de açúcar, 3 cups of flour, 3 copos de farinha, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 colher de sopa de fermento, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 colher de chá de extrato de vanilha, juice of 2 limes, sumo de 2 limas, 3 cups of powdered sugar, 3 copos de açúcar em pó. For our first step, we will be separating the egg whites and egg yolks. I prefer to separate them by passing the egg yolk back and forth between the eggshells, letting the whites fall into the bowl. A little bit of egg white can get into the egg yolks, as long as no egg yolk gets into the whites. For the last egg, we only need the yolk, so the extra egg white can be set aside in another bowl. Now, for the next step, you will get the egg whites and with an electric whisk the egg whites until they are white and fluffy. You will know if they're done because they should form stiff peaks, or you can use the old upside down trick to make sure they are done. Now, to the separated egg yolks from earlier, we are going to add the sugar, the vanilla, and then 2 tablespoons of the lime juice. The rest will be used for the glaze later. To combine, whisk until it forms an airy pale yellow consistency with most of the sugar granules dissolved. To make pouring easier later, I pour the egg yolk mixture to a cup with a pouring spout, like a large measuring cup. Now we will need the flour. This is where many amateur bakers mess up. The correct way to measure flour is by lightly scooping it into a dry ingredients measuring cup and then leveling it off with a knife. To the flour, add baking powder and mix until incorporated. To put the batter together, fold 1/3 of the yolk mixture into the egg whites, then fold 1/3 of the flour mixture. Sift the flour into the batter to avoid lumps. Repeat until there is no more yolk or flour left. To fold properly, cut down the middle of the batter and turn it over itself in a J motion. Rotate the bowl and repeat. Occasionally scrape the sides of the bowl to make sure everything is getting incorporated. Using a cookie scoop, scoop the batter onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Use the sides of the bowl to level off the scoop and ensure size consistency. Put the cookies in a 350-degree oven for 12 to 14 minutes or until golden brown around the edges. When the cookies come out of the oven, let them sit on the baking tray for 5 minutes before transferring them to a rack to cool. If you will not be glazing them today, store the fully cooled cookies in an airtight container. Once you're ready to make the glaze, grab a bowl and sift in about 1 cup of powdered sugar. To that, add 5 to 6 teaspoons of a lime water mixture. This mixture should be 2 parts water and 1 part lime juice. You will notice that this does not make enough glaze to cover all the cookies. That is because we only make a little bit of glaze at a time to avoid it setting before we're done. Repeat as many times as needed until all the cookies are glazed. To put the glaze on the cookie, you're going to need a pastry brush. I prefer a silicone one. Place the cookie flat on your non-dominant hand, and with your dominant hand, scoop glaze with the pastry brush and add it onto the cookie in a circular motion. Once the cookies are fully glazed, we will be creating the design on them. Using 3 fingers, create 3 arches on the top of the cookie, forming a shell-like design. You can also dip the cookie into the glaze if you don't have a pastry brush. Or you can use a spoon to apply the glaze. Once your cookie is glazed, place it on a rack inside of a baking sheet so that any excess glaze can drip. For a sweeter cookie, feel free to glaze the bottom, but make sure the bottom is fully set before glazing the top. Once the glaze on the cookies are completely set, feel free to enjoy. If you will not be eating all the cookies today, store them in an airtight container with a piece of bread.